Hello, I'm Cliff Eley. I'm an attorney who's been representing injured workers in Colorado for over 25 years. Today I'm going to talk about safety rule violations. The Colorado Workers' Compensation Act states that if a worker is injured because they violated a safety rule, then the workers' compensation carrier can reduce the benefits for lost wages, permanent disability, and disfigurement by 50%. In other words, if you violate a safety rule and as a result you're injured, your cash benefits are cut in half. But here's the worst part. The insurance carrier can reduce your benefits by 50% without having to prove anything. They can just take it and say you violated a safety rule. If you disagree, you have to set it for a hearing. Then at the hearing, the insurance company has to go forward with the evidence and prove that you violated a safety rule and that the violation caused your injuries. If you don't set it for a hearing, the carrier can just keep on taking that offset. I know it sounds crazy. It's the insurance company's responsibility to prove you violated a safety rule, but unless you take them to court, they don't have to prove it. They can just keep taking the safety rule violation until you go to court. It's upside down. When you go to hearing, they have to prove several things. They have to prove there actually was a safety rule. They can't make it up after the accident. They have to prove that they've communicated the safety rule to the employee. This communication is usually done through an employee handbook or a safety meeting or maybe through a sign. They have to show that the rule was actually enforced, and this is the most important part. They can't just have a safety rule and never bring it up until someone gets hurt. For example, I once had a case with a man who worked for a roofing company and he fell off a roof and was injured. The insurance carrier started paying benefits, but it immediately took the 50% reduction in benefits because my client wasn't using a safety harness. The company had a rule that said you had to wear a safety harness. But then it comes out that his boss was on the roof at the time of the accident and he wasn't wearing a safety harness. In fact, the company had a lot of employees, but only one safety harness, and no one ever used it. My client had never seen it. The insurance company lost this case, and my client got full benefits, but we had to take it to hearing. They have to prove that the failure to obey the safety rule caused the injury. If your company has a safety rule that says you have to wear steel-toed shoes and then you get hit in the head by a 2x4, it doesn't matter if you're wearing tennis shoes. The insurance company doesn't get an offset because while you violated a safety rule, it didn't cause your injury. Now, it has to be a reasonable safety rule. It can't be don't have an accident or be more careful. It has to be specific. And then they have to prove that you violated the rule willfully. It can't just be a mistake. Insurance companies love to claim a safety rule violation because they immediately cut your benefits by 50%. They can't cut your medical benefits, just lost wages, permanent disability, and any disfigurement you would get. But that can be crippling to someone who can't work and is only getting 2/3 of his wages. When you cut that by 50%, you're only getting 1/3, and it can put you into bankruptcy. If you have questions about safety rule violations or any other workers' compensation question, call me at 303-785-2828. I'd be happy to discuss your case and answer any questions you have at no charge.